Hello everybody, my name is Morpheus Darkson. I am a witch based in India. I am an occultist for the last 6 years now, and I am specialist in left-hand path and especially the Qliphoth. And I'm also experienced with Hinduism in a way so that I can explain to you my perspective about how Saturn affects us and how Saturn has been created by the world elites. So, Saturn is a very enigmatic figure, isn't it? It is a figure of life, it is a figure of destruction, it is a figure of death, but it is also the figure of time. But what Saturn is actually? What is Saturn, the planet? Is it a god? Is it a demon? Why does most demons associate with the planet Saturn? Why is Saturn and Satan sound so similar? The answer to that is yes. Everything is connected, and I'm explaining to you in a short while why. See, Saturn is a planet that has been in human civilization for the last few millennia for recorded history. And it might be that Saturn was one of the first planets that was venerated by humanity, aside from other celestial bodies such as the sun and the moon, because Saturn plays an important part in human anatomy and human psyche in a way. You see, if you look into images of Saturn, you will see that there is a hexagram on top of Saturn's North Pole. And that hexagram is very much prevalent in all world relation. You go from India to Israel, you see all these places, all of them have this hexagram. But what is a hexagram then? Is it connected to Saturn? Is it connected to the dark, demonic spirit that lies in the heart of our solar system? Or is it something else, something more primordial, something that is hidden from us? See, in Hinduism, the origin of Saturn is a very interesting story. It was created, he was born as a child of sun and the shadow, or the goddess of shadow. So there was this goddess and she was a wife of sun. But she could not take the radiance, the power of the sun. She could not handle it. So she creates a feminine copy of herself from her shadow. She called it Chaya or shadow. So when sun had a child with the shadow, that created Saturn. Saturn was the child of darkness and light. He was not the shadow of the sun, but in fact the son of the shadow on the sun. Understand this? It is a hypothesis that there is another star that is a black or a brown dwarf that is on the edges of our solar system, on the Kuiper belt, and that is the twin of our sun. So if sun, the sun that we worship, the sun we see every day, is the first star, it is the father, the masculine force, and its shadow is in the Kuiper belt. What is Saturn? We can say that Saturn is, in fact, the unity of the shadow and the light, creating something primordial and something beautiful. Well, what I want to explain to you in this video is why Saturn is very important in our workings. See, because Saturn is the child of sun and darkness, we can utilize it to develop ourselves. We can use it to develop our psyche, our magic, our life. But it is impossible nowadays to do it because Saturn, in a very important way, is a planet of transformation, it is a planet of darkness, it is a planet of hard work. But most people do not have what it takes to unveil and use all of his powers. That's why there has been a lot of Saturn worship. People fear Saturn. You see Kronos, you see Tiamat, all of these beings embody at least a little bit of the Saturnian energy, but they're feared. People are afraid of them. Why? It is because Saturn is very powerful. It is a very old and primordial entity. And Saturn is deadly. If you have Saturn in your birth chart, in astrology, it is very dangerous because unless there are certain other planets who are friendly to Saturn, it can destroy your life. And if you have the blessings of Saturn, but you waste it, then you're going to get much more darkness. But is there a way to deal with this? Is there a way that we can transform ourselves from all this darkness and how to utilize it? See, Kronos was a god of time, isn't he? He was a god that was worshipped by the ancient Greeks. There were other gods in India and Tibet and China and America and Europe who were representations of Saturn, such as Saturn, who was the Norse child of fire. He was a darkened aspect of fire, the dark, chaotic version of fire, but he was still fire. So he's also the embodiment of Saturn. See, the way we can utilize Saturn is that by realizing the core concepts of Shiva in Hinduism. See, Hinduism, in this way, is a very layered tradition. That is why Tantra is seen or told to be a very initiatory, close practice, because higher levels of Tantra need you to be recognized by the spirits, by your own energy. But you need a very big understanding to go through the steps. And I'm not a tantric, I'm not at that level, but I've gained some knowledge that I can share to you right now, which is the fact that Saturn, in its aspect, in its way, is a very primordial entity, and it has connections to Shiva, who is a god of destruction in Hinduism in a basic way. But Shiva, the word Shiva, is very much connected to nothingness. See, the word Shiva is basically nothingness. So, in a way, the way we describe Shiva is, imagine yourself to be, right? Imagine God to be. Remove all other attributes, every single attribute. Try removing. And when you remove everything, you will be left with nothingness. That nothingness is God. That nothingness is Shiva. I'm not telling you that you need to worship this Indian deity, all right? You can do the same thing with Azazel. You can do the same thing with Yahweh. The point is, you need to understand that you are, in a way, created by the divine. You are creation of the higher self. And you, that you are right now, the person that is watching this video, you are the child of the darkness. You are the child of the light. And you are stuck in this world of Maya. There is so much time, there is space. Let me just tell you. Let me give you an example. Let's just say that you go into a coma today and you wake up in 4 days. There is no calendar, there is no clock. Will you understand what day is this? Because you went today into a coma. When you wake up, you will feel like it is just the next day. So time does not exist. That is the biggest lie of our world, that time exists. See, time does not exist. There is only present. That's why when I work with all these deities of time, especially the Norse faiths, there are 3 deities. But when I work with them, I see only one. Because the basic inherent fact of life is that there is a single moment. The moment that I'm speaking with you, it is what is going on. Everything just is a web. Okay? There is no past, there is no present, there is no future. Why do you see that there are so many people who die? And there are people who believe in the afterlife. There are people who believe in reincarnation, but they can still do necromancy with the other spirits of the dead, deceased loved ones who have already reincarnated. The reason for that is because there is no time. Time does not exist in the outside realms. It does not exist in the astral. It even does not exist in the physical world that we live in. But we have described time as such an important focus that we have given the power of primordialness to this deity. The way you can take back your power is by working with yourself. You can do one thing, which is to understand that you are your own deity. And the way you do this is by doing meditations, by doing venerative worship to Saturnian deities, such as Azazel, such as Lucifer, such as Abaddon. These beings, they destroy parts of your life. They destroy your ego. Qliphoth as a very high level deity of the Qliphoth and the Sephiroth, who you can also connect with. But the answer to this is you need to work with the higher self. You need to work with these deities in order to reclaim your life. And when you do that, you will see that you have energy, you have life, you have vitality, and you are becoming your own person. You're not being ruled by all these other things, but you're ruled by yourself. And that is God. That is Lucifer. That is Jesus Christ. That is Krishna. And this level that you're in, you're being stuck by the matrix, all this demiurge. This is Satan. This is the adversary, and you have to defeat it. I will make a video on adversary and Satan later on, but for this video, this is just it. If you want to join my Patreon, there is a link below where you will find access to my knowledge that is not shared anywhere else. I can guarantee you that. And if you want to support me or talk to me, there are other ways as well on my Patreon. So I will see you in my next video. Goodbye, have a great day, keep learning, and click on the video on your screen right now.